We got another one. AI has the truth, man. They have the truth. You know what they say? Diddy is about to leak Cassie's STD report. Mm, 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 mm. I wonder how Diddy's doing that from behind bars. Anyway, that's what the AI say. I'm not saying it. AI say it, not me. So let's listen to what AI say. I listened to like the first few seconds, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard to hear. Like it's hard to listen to because it's like super AI. You know, some AI sound human. Here we go. Let's hear if they have any truth to it.
Hold on to your seats, because a fresh set of accusations has rekindled the controversy around Diddy just when it appeared that it was subsiding.
Mm.
This time, Cassie is the center of attention, and the disclosures are startling and incredibly disturbing. In addition to making accusations, a male escort named Clayton Howard, who also goes by Dave in his professional circles, has filed a civil case against Cassie. He asserted that Cassie was more than just a casualty of Diddy's infamous freak-off.
And we've covered him. He made his own little videos talking exactly about this is what happened, this is what happened, and okay, so that much is true. Let's see if AI gets it right this time.
Parties. He claims that she actively participated in the events, even helping to plan and coordinate them, and most startling of all, pressuring other people to take part. Dave goes one step farther in his charges, alleging that Cassie intentionally spread herpes to him. According to his lawsuit, Cassie's public reputation as someone who was coerced into these circumstances wasn't accurate. His goal is to dispel that myth by asserting that her involvement was far more extensive and voluntary than previously thought.
We so far, hey, look, sometimes a broken clock, right? Twice a day. Okay. We've been saying that too. Maybe y'all can call AI the same thing y'all been calling us. That'd be great. Pass the buck along.
Dave's name came up during the review of Cassie's text conversations, despite the fact that he was not formally summoned to testify during Diddy's recent trial. According to court filings, Dave contacted Cassie at 1:30 a.m. to let her know he had reached a meeting location, a term that many believe denotes a freak-off event. Hours later, he casually replied, "Thanks, LOL," to her message once more, suggesting regular participation. To recap, Cassie's evidence and legal claims presented a troubling, bleak picture of abuse and coercion. The initial freak-off was planned without her knowledge or approval, she claimed. Diddy hired a man and took him to his house in Los Angeles. According to court documents, Diddy is accused of directing Cassie to engage in sexual actions as everyone else donned masquerade masks and used illegal drugs.
Again, court records. Hey, look, when you're right, you're right. Okay, AI. We here, man. We here. Look, hey, I'm proud of you. I am proud to say that we might have found. I might be talking too soon. We still got some time left, but might have found a AI video that's sticking to somewhat of a semblance of reality. However, you did say that Diddy allegedly leaks Cassie's STD report. That's the title of your video. Hopefully you'll clarify it. We don't know yet. Go on, though. Go on with your bad self.
She described these interactions, which occasionally lasted days, as emotionally traumatic. Additionally, Cassie claimed that Diddy normalized these behaviors over time by calling them fussy, and demanded that she orchestrate them. According to reports, he would randomly demand them, give her and the escorts drugs like ecstasy and GHB, and insist on certain physical characteristics, such as her wearing white nail paint to contrast with the men's dark skin. According to her claim, these were not isolated incidents but rather part of a pattern of abuse that left her physically and emotionally exhausted.
Again, the word abuse has been thrown in there, but we're not quite sure that's fully the situation. All right? Okay.
Frequently necessitating intravenous fluids to recover from the chemical overload. This portrayal was echoed by the prosecution during Diddy's trial, which claimed that Cassie may have planned the logistics but only under duress and repeated threats. They portrayed her as a survivor of a tightly regulated, cruel environment, rather than an accomplice. However, Dave is now openly disputing that story. He asserts that the account of coercion does not match his own experiences. He claims that Cassie was not only involved but also an eager participant beginning in 2009.
And we've saw the video. Again, whether his claim is true or not, the courts will decide that because he did file a lawsuit both against her and Diddy, not just Cassie and Diddy. While he did say that yes, Diddy was a part of this. Cassie was not without blame. Let's put it like that. She had a role in it, and she had a role aside from Diddy commanding that role. Again, his words, not ours.
And that the interactions were captured on camera and used for profit. His charges are already changing how the public views him, calling into question some of Cassie's assertions and posing challenging queries on accountability, consent, and complicity in abusive and power structures. An already combustible story will take on a new, complex dimension as this lawsuit develops, one that the public and even the judicial system will have to piece together piece by piece. The internet shaking claims, an unsettling story of coercion, power, and legal repercussions. Music mogul, Diddy and singer Cassie are the targets of bombshell claims made by a guy going by the name Dave.
Now, see. I hold out hope way too much. I became Corey for just a millisecond. I got hopeful. Now they're on repeat. They say they're going to drop this whole idea that Diddy is allegedly leaking Cassie's STD reports. Now you're just regurgitating the first story the second time around. Come on, man. You let me down, AI. You let me down. Maybe you're going to talk about Dave one more time to segue into something else. I don't know if I could hold that for that. I'm thinking I got hoodwinked, bamboozled. Let's find out.
Allegations portray a disturbing picture of compulsion, abuse, and psychological suffering that allegedly lasted for almost 10 years. Dave claims he was not just utilized, but also taken advantage of. He claims that Cassie, in addition to Diddy, used him as a means of achieving his goals and coerced him into risky and humiliating circumstances. The claim that Cassie coerced him into using ecstasy and having unprotected intercourse is among the most unsettling. He claims that in order to amuse herself, she would coerce him into performing protracted acts of self-harm, leaving him hurt and devastated.
Again, we're still waiting. This has been the trend, okay? This has been a trend. Not just clickbait anymore. Clickbait, some truth, lies. In some cases, clickbait, all lies, no truth. At minimum, this one started off with a little bit of truth in it. Some truth. Not a whole lot, but some truth. Now the question remains, are we going to get to the bottom of the story of the STD report? Yes or no? Y'all leave a comment. At this point, I'm going to give you a break right here. You think we're going to end up hearing about an STD report? Yes or no? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let's find out.
However, the accusations don't end there. According to Dave, Cassie, who is frequently portrayed in the media as a victim, supposedly accepted the poisonous relationship between Diddy and herself. He asserts that she flourished on the influence, making decisions in group interactions, and using escorts as puppets in a perverted power struggle. Additionally, he claims that this manipulation also affected him, keeping him bound to the duo out of desperation and intimidation and feeding his fear, particularly as he struggled financially. The specifics become even more unsettling. According to Dave, he got a sexually transmitted virus when Cassie made him have sex with her while she was menstruation. He also says she got pregnant later, and he thinks the child is his.
Okay, so is that the caveat you're using to say STD report? Is it one event that's leading to this topic? When you say something like this, like you come on the internet and you say, oh, there's an STD report, I would think that most people would say, wait, she had multiple? Did she have a whole record of STDs for there to be an STD report out there? Or do you just tell me you're just checking and divulging the report as negative or positive to any amount? Very slick.
But such belief has generated controversy. Dave believes Diddy was the only father since he insists that Diddy never had intercourse with him. Others, however, challenge that reasoning, raising concerns about paternity in light of Cassie's purported history of employing several escorts for freak-off events. Diddy and Cassie are named in Dave's case, which also contains a number of damages, such as emotional hardship, loss of income, physical and psychological suffering, increasing medical costs, and a decreased quality of life. However, one question keeps coming up online. Why now? The majority of Diddy's legal lawsuits surfaced in 2023 and early 2024.
So in other words, you don't have any proof that Diddy's leaking any Cassie's STDs report. That's what I'm making my call now. I started too hopeful. I understand. I was happy because we got proof. We got at least something tangible out of it. Okay. A history lesson that was actually true. Okay. But not the title of the video. That's my claim right now. Or if they do it, they'll be like, we heard rumors that they're gonna drop it, but they never did. And they'll bet like 2 seconds of it, but they won't actually say anything. Okay.
Why, then, did Dave put off filing until now? He claims that Tyrone Blackburn, his lawyer, suggested that he wait until Diddy's federal trial was over because of Cassie's evidence, which was allegedly crucial to the government's case. According to Dave, everything came down to time and safety, keeping Cassie from turning into a liability before her part in the trial was over. Additionally, he maintains that after witnessing the case's development, specifically the government's hesitation to press charges against Cassie, he lost faith in the legal system. Dave thinks that because the prosecution was focused only on bringing Diddy to justice, they purposefully ignored her involvement as a co-conspirator.
So in other words, I'll help you, AI. The title of your video is Male Stripper Files Lawsuit on Diddy and Cassie. Solved it. Look, that'd make it more accurate. See, what that would do is that would make the first part of your story much more valid, and then the tail end of your video much more accurate. See, yeah. Hey, we help out who we can.
It's all about Diddy, he said. The male victims are uncared for. According to TMZ, Dave explained why he was pursuing monetary compensation rather than criminal charges, asserting that the U.S. Attorney's Office had no desire to hold Cassie responsible. For him, this is about being heard in a system that, in his opinion, frequently disregards male survivors. Not simply about justice. The court of public opinion, meantime, is on fire. Some commenters think that Cassie has exposed herself to potential legal action by paying more than $30 million to settle her own claim. Others continue to doubt Dave's assertions, citing the challenges in establishing STI infection or fatherhood. Some blatantly claim that Dave took risks as an escort, which now have repercussions. Nevertheless, amidst the chaos, the narrative highlights a troubling fact. Power can be used as a weapon in terrible ways behind the glamour and glitz of celebrity, and the wounds frequently last after the spotlight has passed.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. And so do the lies. The lies still last long after the video is over. Again, don't forget, the title of this was Diddy allegedly leaks Cassie's STD report. What is she revealing? I'm assuming the word revealing is not the word you want, because it's not her putting the STD, it's Diddy. So it should be, what is he revealing? One, or if you don't mean revealing, what is she hiding? But you didn't expound on any of that except for herpes. I think you said mention herpes once, and that was it. So that's the report. The report is, I guess, that she had at least one STD. This stuff is getting crazy. But hey, they got a grift going. The question is whether YouTube's going to clamp down on that, because technically, that's clickbait and lies. Technically. Anyway, we thought I'd bring that to your attention, because we try to do that more often than not now. We're going to try and show you at least a few of these a couple of times a week to get your mind right as to how things have actually been going on in the social media world and how people manipulate facts and omit facts just for clicks and views. We will never do that. We'll always keep the truth in front of you. Whether you like it or not, whether it's likable or not, it's going to be the truth. We'll always ask you to fact check us, bring your receipts. But at the end of the day, we are about keeping the right and the wrong. And with stuff like this going around, it leaves a very gray area for people to muddy up and get all kinds of crazy stuff going. And there are people that can be harmed because of this. It's a dangerous platform to be using. It's a dangerous way to be operating. At the end of the day, this should not be, but it is. And so we have to expose it.